So I did a project. We took on a project which I should never have taken. I took it for all the wrong reasons. It was a massive job.
You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. Welcome. Thanks for joining the Live Local Marketing Podcast. Today we're with Wes. Sir, how are we feeling today?
Really good. It's early morning for me. I love starting early, getting cracking for the day, and the coffee's flowing, so I'm all good.
All right. So the important question is, what kind of coffee? This says say a lot about you. Make sure you're careful when you answer.
Well, I have a black cold drip coffee, so I guess a
Which
little
brand
bit
is it
unusual.
though? Is it a certain brand?
It's Aldi. Do you have Aldi over there? It's a cheaper
No, we
kind of
don't.
German brand. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
yeah,
good.
it's nice.
Nice. All right, so we will go get a little background on Wes. I'll read it off, and then we'll just head right into the questions. So Wes runs Uplift 360. It's a digital agency for builders and trades. His focus is simple, smarter websites, practical SEO, and growth you can measure. He earned his playbook on real jobs, not in theory, and now helps others skip the painful lessons. Nice and to the point, man. I like how brief that intro is. You did a great job with that.
Cool.
Are we ready for the questions?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Talk to us about a time where you had a loss and it turned out to be a win.
Yeah, well, there's been so many losses, and I've learned a lot of things the hard way, so to speak. So I guess the one of the losses turned out to be a win in a roundabout way. So I did a project. We took on a project which I should never have taken. I took it for all the wrong reasons. It was a massive job, and I took it on to keep an employee and team member engaged with the projects. I could see he was getting a little bored, so we took on this massive project, and he left a couple of jobs in a couple of weeks into the massive project, and I had no idea how to build it out. It was quite elaborate. It was a dating website, so that was a massive loss. But the turnaround to turn the it was a catalyst to really niche into a specific market and understand what we're really great at and focus on to a large degree. And so without that painful lesson, which was very painful at the time, but a massive lesson and reshaped the whole business.
So how did it reach? All right, so you're not doing dating apps, obviously. That doesn't seem like your thing. Which direction did you start going from there?
Yeah, so back then we were just doing websites and digital marketing for anyone and everybody. But I soon realized the majority of our better clients were all kind of in similar industries, and they were trades, construction. We call them tradies in Australia. So all those local businesses that need support from people like us, and sometimes they're under-supported, in my view. So certainly in our region they were. So it was a massive opportunity for us to really dial in, understand them to a higher level, what their needs are, the nuance of their certain circumstances and business. Being local businesses, they have certain needs to optimize for, and the local search and all that kind of stuff. So dialing in on what we were really good at, that means you have happier clients, and the happier clients means happy business, happy me, and everyone wins that way. Yeah.
That's excellent. All right, awesome. So let's talk to us about setting goals. How do you set goals up for yourself, and then we'll get into the team too. But how do you set goals up for yourself?
Yeah, well, I suppose I've got the short-term goals, but then the long-term goals, it's that kind of the in-between is always a little bit unknown. But the short-term goals, I really like to set, even goals for what we want to achieve this 1 week. What are we going to get done?
Oh, okay.
Where we're going to get finished. Those are the short-term things. And so my brain works better in short sprints, where I can see the finish line and get to that next point, and to the next point, to the next point. I sort of work in those sprints. And so the team seems to respond well to that as well, but also the really long-term goals of what I want the business to be in the future. So that helps guide the path of what those shorter time frame goals might look like. So it's the in-between is so flexible and dynamic, and I think we need to be with this day and age of AI. It feels as though business is evolving so fast. Just need to be so nimble. Our standard operating procedures are evolving all the time, but just because there's new opportunities coming out all the time.
So would you say long-term goals, do you guys sit down as a team and do that, or do you set them up and then say, hey, this is what I think it should be, and you have the discussions. How does that look as a leader?
Yeah, it's not to a huge degree. I mean, I think everybody knows my heart without having a deliberate discussion about it. What I want to achieve. So yeah, but just the growth. I mean, I think we're all motivated by growth, and that's for different reasons. Initially, the growth is, hey, I've just started a business. I better start earning at least equivalent to what I was as an employee. That's the initial kind of goal you think about. But once you get to a level where you like the income doesn't make a huge difference to your life, like I live fairly simply, I suppose. So it doesn't make a huge difference if I make more or less. I'm fine. But the growth we measure in income, so it's kind of a game more so than anything else. To see the numbers bigger and keeping life exciting. It's just a measure. It's a crude measure, but the more value you produce in the world, the greater usually your income is. Well, certainly as a business, that's kind of how it works. So it just means we're producing more value if the numbers are getting bigger, so to speak. So
well, that probably has more motivation for your staff, your teams and stuff as well. Like if you're chasing a dollar, once you get to the dollar, it's pretty empty. But if you're telling them, hey, listen, we're helping add value to people's lives, you get so much more, I'm sure, production, more effort from your people, I assume.
Yeah, and everyone's kind of on their own path as well. So you start out typically, maybe you're in some sort of junior or mid kind of position, but by the time a few years pass and you're more senior, and everyone, well, the very best team members will always be growth oriented as well, because they're trying to learn and grow and be better.
That makes sense.
There's some people that are just always, they're happy with where they're at, and so they're not great team members because they're just trying to get away with the minimum. I'm trying to find a way to get out of the, finish the day. They're just there clocking in and clocking out, and there's people like that. But when you can have people in your team who are really driven to be excellent at what they do, life is better for everybody.
That's for sure. So talk to us now, because you do the websites and you do all the SEO trades and you do all the help. Talk to us about a cold marketing strategy that's working really well for you right now. And then we will talk about a warm marketing strategy that's working really well for you right now.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of need for cold anymore. We have, well, I suppose the one to reach out to LinkedIn people. Now, we're not super spammy with that. I suppose it's cold, but just connecting with people because we serve such a tight niche. Everyone kind of knows everyone, certainly in our region. So it makes sense for me to personally connect with other people in the world we play in. So I just reach out. I don't have some people with a LinkedIn outreach, they might have like a sequence of messages. I don't really do any of that because it's a kind of so tight, the niche. So once a connection is made, I will legitimately look at their profile and write a custom message if that's appropriate. So that's the cold outreach, I suppose. What was the next one?
Mostly warm then. The warm. So you're mostly doing warm marketing then? Yeah. All right. So let's get into the fun stuff. Warm marketing is way more fun. Talk to us about a warm marketing strategy that you're like, this is really fun. I'm loving doing this. Quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, well, the starting the podcast has been brilliant. I don't know if you think about it in the because the podcast I launched at the start of the year, and it's serving our ideal clients, the trades and construction businesses. So it's serving so many purposes from a marketing standpoint as well, because all of a sudden I have a reason to reach out to leaders in the field, people who are exceptional at what they do. And so not that I'm trying to sell them anything necessarily, but we're making a connection and having a conversation. I'm learning from them. They're getting great value from that discussion, and they're getting reach and so on, and getting their brand out there. So they're getting great value, but also we're making a relationship. So that's that warming up of the relationship. So they know about me all of a sudden, and as you know, everybody needs to improve and enhance their websites from time to time. Things get stale and stagnant. Businesses change. And so that I'll be hopefully front of mind for a lot of these people I'm making relationships with.
No, that's good. That's excellent. And then obviously I agree with you, because we are currently doing the podcast. So if there's no greater no greater sign of my agreement, that'd be it. All right, so talk to us then. Is there a strategy or marketing that you don't do anymore? Like, hey, that doesn't work. ROI is not there. We just kind of don't do this anymore.
So I used to do a lot of networking groups, and not to say they don't work. They certainly do, but it's an efficiency of time. So I've scaled that back tremendously. I'm just doing those which I enjoy doing and that are fun. So if I feel as though it's fun, it's not work anymore. But there was some groups that were more intentional about referrals and so on, and they certainly worked, and they were powerful. When I was starting out business, I had more time than money, so, you're either spending your time or your money. So I had lots of time then because I didn't have much work, was starting out. So investing that time into the building of relationships in those structured groups was really powerful. But now these days it's not the right investment for me to be spending all that time doing that stuff.
So you do a lot of face-to-face, a lot of meetings and stuff. And so you're in the trades. Does that mean you like go on field and like go meet plumbers and go meet electricians and go on site and do stuff? Do you go that far, or is that not really something you do?
Sometimes. Yeah. Some of the guys, because they're really practical, pragmatic, down to earth people, and it's beneficial, and they might have a gap in the day and they're between sites or they're on site, so seeing them in that environment can be helpful, really helpful sometimes. But
yeah, sure.
That's how it was always before COVID. And then when everyone got the understanding of doing a Zoom or an online call, it became that more and more. So there's certainly advantages in that, because we're doing digital stuff, so it's helpful if we can share screen. It's kind of difficult on a building site. You get your laptop out and you've got screen glare and there's noise and all that and distraction. You know what I mean? So so it's more helpful to do it over the screen, but there's other benefits in being on site for sure.
So let's keep going on that same idea. So let's say a lot of your people and you're on site sometimes, and you have to really get a sense of the brand, because a plumber is a plumber, electricians are all very kind of similar. How do you pull the brand out to make them a little more unique and help tell their stories a little bit better?
Yeah, that's the key ingredient, isn't it, for any marketing, to really have a point of difference. And as you say, it can be really difficult. If you're a plumber and you're kind of doing the same work as every other plumber in town. Really understanding the key points of difference, and there might only be a couple, but they're the key points that you need to highlight in the marketing. Everyone else is explaining the industry in general terms of what you do. You fix plumbing issues or whatever the case may be, but those things that make you. And so to draw that out of people, the conversation I often have with the founder is more about what their dislikes are. I find that they have they can vent their frustration so much easier about all the competitors. Let's say it's a behind closed doors discussion. Of course, we would never be bagging our competitors in the public forum, but it highlights to us what's important to them, their values and convictions, because it's the inverse opposite of whatever they're complaining about. So they might be talking about how people leave people's homes, if it's within a home, the services they're providing, or the messiness of the time. They're common complaints, people not showing up on time, leaving a mess, all of those sorts of things. That then we can speak to the positive aspects. Depends on the nature of it. It is difficult though. The good news is, as a local business, you've only got to be better than the couple of competitors you have in town. If you're in a smaller town, if you're in a large city, the opportunities are bigger. but the competition is bigger as well. And that's when niching can be helpful, because you can be the best at one core service offering or set of offerings to a particular type of person. So that's the safer bet in a large city. So you can be known for something. In a small town, probably you need to do all the various plumbing because there's only so much work in town.
So yeah, I think I've heard that referred to as the white space. So you find something that your competitors don't do really well, and you really niche down and fill that little white space, that little spot. So you basically you go from their clients, like their word and their feedback, or do you also dive in and do a little bit of research and look into some of those competitors a little bit? I mean, they didn't hire you, right? So you hop in there and be like, let's mess around a little bit. Let's see what the white space is here.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely doing a fair bit of competitor research, and just based on what they're saying on their own websites and their social media, we typically have a look at as well, just to have a sense of what they're up to, so we can find the differences. So often it's better for them as well, actually, because we're trying to set the business we're working with apart from them. So creating that distinction, it's actually beneficial to everybody if there's distinction. So it's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. Talk to us about the best marketing advice you've ever been given.
Oh, wow. Best marketing advice ever given. Wow. Yeah, there's so many different ways of looking at that. I suppose it's the thing that jumps to mind, and it's more about networking, maybe because that's on my mind, what was spoken about so far. But the idea of if you're at some sort of function, it might be an event and someone's speaking, it's important to connect with the most important person in the room. And sometimes everyone else is scared to do so. So the speaker might be the most important person in the room. The other angle of that is it's important to connect to who's perceived to be the least important person in the room. So the person who no one else is bothering with, because you'll make an impression on them that will last on the event. Good. Yeah, the middle ground, everyone's talking to them, and they're talking to a dozen people, and they'll forget you by the time you've left, unless there's some burning need that you can fulfill. But the top, no one's bothering to talk to because they're scared, and no one's bothering to talk to the bottom. So that's where you can make a lasting impact and hopefully build out referrals off the back of that.
So when you went to these meetings when you first got started and you knew who to talk to, is there like certain strategies or certain things that you did that kind of made you stand out a little bit, or was it just a numbers game for you?
Yeah, there was a couple of little things, little pointers. I mean, I was so naive starting out. This is the early days of business. I had no idea how to talk to people and all this kind of stuff. But there was a guy, Ben Angel, who used to teach networking philosophies and strategies and so on. And one of his tips that I found really useful was just the mindset to act as if you're the host. So what that means is you might meet let's say the speaker and say, hey, you got everything you need. Would you like a drink of water or something? Or same as in the room, talking to someone who might look a little bit like a misfit. Hey, is there anyone I could introduce you to? Or act the host that connected people. And I found that a really helpful framework for my own mindset to put myself in the right place to connect in a way which wasn't super salesy. There's that temptation just to get out to as many people and hand out your business card, scattergun approach. That's how I kind of felt was worked really well. Those marketing principles. Yeah, the guy was Ben Angel. He's written a bunch of books and so on now.
Ben Angel. Got it.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So before we get to your business, let's talk about confidence. So I'm sure you bump into clients and people that are thinking about using your services, or maybe they're not quite there yet, but they're like, hey, listen, I don't know if my business is right yet. I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know if I really need your services quite yet. How do you talk to that person in regards to the confidence that, your business would help bring them?
Yeah, well, the way I like to frame it in my own mind, so I present again in a way in which is helpful, is to not think about it as I'm selling anything, but think about it that they're buying something. They're needing a solution to a problem. So what is the problem? And so thinking about it from their perspective. Good. So all the questioning is around, what are you buying? It's not that abrupt, but it's what do you need? What is it that's breaking down? What's the solution? And I might not necessarily be the best option for them, but it might be that I can connect them to somebody, because front of mind for them might not be the marketing. It might be some other burning issue that they have. But if I can connect them to someone in my world, eventually that connection will form a connection with me. And then eventually, I know it's just a matter of time. Every business's website will need an overhaul. Let's say the marketing will always, it's just cyclical. So you build a website today, and then you grow to a level of dissatisfaction where you're prepared to make a change, because things change all the time. So it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time and building those connections so you stay in that right place for that right time to come around.
So yeah, you probably know everybody, because I mean, you have lists of people you've done websites for, and I'm sure you've looked at websites for people in the past, and I'm sure you've done favors, and I'm sure you seem like a nice enough guy where you're like free evaluations and things like that. You probably have quite a connection list. How do you keep track of everybody? Are you using a CRM? Are you using like just a Rolodex? Yeah. Like, what are we doing here?
That's Go High Level is the one I'm on.
Gotcha.
No doubt, really familiar with that. I find it really good. It can be clunky in places. I think no system is perfect, but if you're using it to its the capabilities that you need it to, then it's fine. There's so many options out there. But yeah, Rolodex isn't probably going to cut it for any business these days.
I'll give the younger audience a moment to Google that and look up Rolodex. But yeah. No, I can imagine in your space, because of what you provide, like having the access to everybody, that even if they don't need you at the moment, like, don't worry, I've got a person for you for this. Like, you are in a very unique and very good position. So, all right, so let's get to the business. We'll give you a second to do the outro, talk about your business. We talked about websites. We've talked about how to position yourself as a warm marketer, as a person that everybody knows. And we appreciate all that knowledge. So how can people get a hold of you, and what exact services are you providing?
Yeah, uplift360.com.au, because we're Australian, we've got that AU there. And you can book strategy calls with me directly there. So, I mean, if something's piques someone's interest, we can talk about that further. So, so we're a digital agency. We do websites. We do online marketing, a lot of search engine optimization. We're calling it search everywhere optimization these days, because it's not just search engines, it's all the large language models, etc. And it's a dynamic space to play in, and it's changing all the time. So that expert guidance and knowledge, even we're working with some fairly large companies in the building space, and so they'll have marketing teams, but they can't possibly keep on top of everything that's happening.
No.
So we'll come in as niche knowledge to help guide them in the way in which they should go moving forward with their content strategies and so on, and even give them some elaborate prompts customized for them that they can use to create content that's meaningful and connected to their audience.
So excellent. All right. So make sure you check it out. I'm sure you got I didn't check it out. I should have. You probably have examples of other sites you've done and everything else on that site as well. You have social media? You have social media as well?
Yeah, all the socials. You'll find them all in the footer there, the link. Even for people can connect with me on LinkedIn. I know not everyone will connect with anybody, but I do, for sure. So reach out. Yeah.
Yep, that's where I'm connected with you on LinkedIn. I got to check out some more of the websites just to see more examples of your work. I didn't get on that today, but I've been following your stuff on LinkedIn. So awesome. I appreciate your time today, your knowledge, and make sure you reach out, especially if you're having website issues or having questions about that or SEO. Man, Wes is your man, sir. We appreciate your time, and I thank you for waking up so early today to have the little chat with us today.
Brilliant. I've loved it. Thanks, Billy.
And if authentic practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on Warm Marketing Referrals.